Chapter 2, Ready, Set, Go. As I step into the shower, my brain starts cranking out a mental to-do list for the day ahead. Topping today's list is that smoldering issue at work that threatens to erupt into flames if I don't throw some water on it soon. As I reach for the nearly empty bottle of shampoo, I add it to my mental shopping list for Saturday. Again. I hope I will remember to buy it this time. What else? I conjure a mental image of my planner, opened to today's date. It's Thursday, so that means back-to-back meetings. Oh no. I realize that status reports are due tomorrow. Hurry up, my inner voice admonishes. You need to get to work early enough to tackle at least one of those before your first meeting. Instantly, adrenaline and cortisol flood my bloodstream. On the outside, I look like a woman getting ready for work. But inside, I'm a heaving sea of churning thoughts and emotions. Shifting my anxiety level into overdrive is how I power up in the morning. Being steeped in urgency feels normal. After a long day, I stay at work to knock out the remaining status reports while devouring a meal replacement bar from the stash in my desk drawer. At 6:30 in the evening, I head home to pick up my daughter for tonight's Girl Scout meeting. The troop is going camping in a few weeks. My mind is simultaneously planning meals for this camping trip while trying to remember exactly what I needed from the grocery store this morning, but forgot to write down. Lost in thought, I run a red light. Screeching brakes and a blaring horn alert me to my near miss. Finally home at 9, I'm grouchy with hunger and oozing pent-up irritation from my day. Walking in the door relieves me of the expectation to maintain professionalism throughout my long day. I snap at my husband and kids, surrendering my emotional self-control in a phenomenon known as restraint collapse. Straining under the weight of a never-ending task list means that investing energy in relationships with my loved ones feels like one more obligation. My anxiety left me feeling profoundly lonely. A stressed-out mind tends to imagine threats everywhere, forcing us to withdraw inside our emotional castle walls and raise the drawbridge. My body suffered from what I now know were symptoms of chronic anxiety. Weight gain, headaches, irritable bowels, rigid shoulder muscles, and poor sleep. Anxious people are short-tempered and overly critical, and they radiate a disconcerting nervous buzz like a hive of angry bees. I was desperate to change, but didn't know how. I taped an index card with the word calm in a lovely blue script to my computer monitor. It's no surprise that willing myself into calmness didn't work, but I didn't know what else to do. That was then. Now, as I step into the shower, I feel a rush of gratitude that hot water is available with the twist of a knob. I lift the shampoo bottle to my nose, deeply inhaling the floral aroma. Before stepping out of the shower, I twist the knob to cold and laugh at the pleasing sensation of the icy water. I smile at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, whispering, "Hello, beautiful. I love you." My inner voice is much more polite these days. She knows that if she starts whining, I will shush her. Mistakes don't upset me like they used to. Instead, I chuckle, recalling how I used to aspire to unrealistic expectations. This is not to say that I am immune to stress. Life can still trigger a rush of adrenaline and cortisol, but the effect is short-lived, as I can quickly restore my sense of calmness. I've lost 20 pounds, stopped taking pain relievers, and found the restorative sleep I craved. So what happened? My transition started when I began studying healing touch. Similar to Reiki or acupuncture, healing touch is a form of energy medicine that facilitates healing by grounding, centering, and balancing our electromagnetic aspects. You will learn what that means in future chapters. Healing touch entered my life when I was eager to escape my cage of irritability. When I registered for healing touch training, I expected to learn how to heal other people. But the first person I healed was myself. My healing touch instructors emphasized the importance of self-care, because healers can better serve our clients when we take care of ourselves first. I used healing touch to self-heal headaches, my cranky knees, and my chronic anxiety. These techniques are so simple anyone can learn them. We can teach them to our children before they have even developed the capacity to read. As my stress level decreased, my exploration of self-healing expanded. I learned to make peace with my inner critic, conquer my perfectionism, and tune into my intuition. Intentional self-care created the calm new me who is lean, flexible, energetic, and sees the doctor only once a year for checkups. Unlike many other people in their mid-60s, I am not popping prescriptions or bemoaning the deterioration of health mistakenly associated with aging. This book is the guide I needed when I taped the word calm to my computer in a vain attempt to dispel my chronic anxiety. I've organized what I call my energetic self-care routine into 8 intentions. Within the framework of these 8 intentions, I will teach you practical techniques to help you reclaim your calm when life knocks you sideways. Just as we wash the grime from our skin and brush food particles from between our teeth every day, these techniques work best when practiced regularly, not just when we feel stressed. So I will also show you how to make self-healing part of your existing daily routine. Here are some clues that this book is right for you. First, your health needs healing. Does the story of the stressed-out old me sound familiar? Do you suffer from chronic pain and irritability? Are you eager to discover the happier, healthier you, but not sure how to start? In my situation, chronic anxiety was the root of my health complaints, but I didn't recognize the symptoms. Take a look at the Chronic Anxiety Self-Assessment in the free companion document available on my website. If the list of symptoms looks familiar, you are in the right place. Second, you feel like you've tried everything. Stress interferes with our ability to understand and use new information. So, ironically, we can read an insightful book on personal growth, but struggle to apply the wisdom to our personal situation. This book is filled with short, simple techniques to prepare the mind for learning. Third, you are ready to take action. Mental and emotional readiness is a prerequisite for any personal growth journey. If you have tried unsuccessfully to improve your health in the past, it may be that you were not adequately prepared. In the next section, you will find some questions to help you assess your readiness to make actionable changes in your life. Fourth, you are open to a holistic approach. Conventional healing approaches focus myopically on the physical body. As we will discover, optimum health requires a whole-body perspective, body, mind, and spirit. Finally, you are committed to reclaiming your personal power to heal. No one learns to play the piano by reading a book about Chopin. Reclaiming your personal power to heal requires intentional effort. Are you willing to set aside excuses, stop arguing for your limitations, and make meaningful changes? Throughout this book, I will ask you introspective questions designed to strengthen your self-awareness. To get the most out of the book, I encourage you to document your responses in writing, using a separate journal or the printable worksheets in the companion document. Tanya's story. When we met for our first healing session, Tanya's primary concern was chronic pain from hip replacement surgery. Despite multiple rounds of physical therapy, she still walked unsteadily, relying on a cane for balance. Tanya fell into such a deep, sonorous sleep during our third session that putting my hand on her shoulder and calling her name failed to rouse her. This happens often during a healing touch session. I see it as an indication that deep healing is happening, so I wait until the client wakes up on their own. 40 minutes later, Tanya opened her eyes. The transformation was noticeable. She looked lighter, brighter, and more alert. Tanya said she was amazed by how good she felt. She got off the table unaided and walked without pain. We closed the session by identifying actions that Tanya would take to sustain her continued self-healing. When I saw Tanya a few weeks later, she was shuffling along with her cane again. As I soon discovered, Tanya had not followed through with her action plan from the previous session. Her commitment to her healing did not extend beyond coming to me for healing touch sessions. Tanya's story is not uncommon. Too often, we focus on treatments instead of lifestyle changes. Perhaps you know someone who is searching for healing from outer sources instead of activating the power within themselves. Assessing your readiness for change. In my early days as a coach and healer, I mistakenly believed that my clients' progress depended on the adequacy of my abilities, so I felt responsible when their health issues persisted. But then I learned that I can't heal anyone, that at its core, all healing is self-healing. Reclaiming our personal power requires a significant personal investment of energy and persistence. As an ACE behavior change specialist, I understand that this is easier said than done. Change can be extremely difficult even in life-threatening situations. Between 50 and 80% of patients with chronic illnesses struggle to implement and maintain healthy behaviors. If you have tried and failed repeatedly to improve your health in the past, rest assured that change is still possible. Sometimes we embark on a health improvement journey before we are ready. Perhaps our doctor has warned us to stop smoking, or our spouse nags us to lose weight, but, like Tanya, our motivation is lackluster. Perhaps we are afraid we might fail. Perhaps we are constrained by limiting beliefs. Or perhaps we underestimate the commitment required for meaningful and lasting transformation. The difference between those who achieve their wellness goals and those who don't is their readiness for change. Evaluating our mental and emotional readiness increases the probability of success anytime we tackle a new goal. Are you ready to reclaim your self-healing power? Here are some questions to help you assess your readiness. To get the most out of this assessment, I highly recommend answering these questions in writing. The act of moving your hand across a page slows your thoughts, allowing unexpected insights to emerge, like sunlight breaking free of the clouds after a storm. Grab your journal or some blank sheets of paper, and let's dive in. Know your whys. Change happens when the perceived pain of staying as we are outweighs the perceived pain of doing things differently. Just knowing that something is good for us may not be enough to keep us going when inevitable setbacks occur. Health goals that someone else goaded us into setting are too flimsy to withstand the headwinds of our biological resistance to change. On the other hand, strong internal motivation is the wind beneath our wings when we feel tempted to give up. In the past, I tried and failed to resist sugary treats, forgo my nightly glass of wine, and kick my caffeine habit, until I found a reason powerful enough to sustain my commitment. In each case, scientific research convinced me that the cost to my health outweighed the pleasure I derived from consuming things that weren't good for me. Ask yourself, why do you want to improve your health? Is it because your doctor or a loved one suggested that your health needs improving? Or are you driven by internal motivation? Are your whys shining brightly enough to illuminate the path to a calmer, healthier future you? Know your why nots. When we undertake positive changes in our life, there can be unexpected trade-offs. For example, a gamer who decides to spend less time online may miss socializing virtually with their gamer friends. The desire to stop drinking alcohol may lead to foregoing happy hour get-togethers with colleagues after work. A smoker may worry about gaining weight if she gives up cigarettes. Recall that imbibing an adrenaline cortisol cocktail was how I used to power up in the morning. A why not for conquering my anxiety was that I credited my career success to my chronic urgency. I had to release the belief that my productivity depended on self-imposed stress. Although I didn't know it at the time, my client Tanya had a why not for reclaiming her self-healing capability. Her lengthy recovery from hip replacement surgery prevented her from returning to a job that she hated. Ask yourself, what motivation do you have to ignore the greener grass and stay where you are? Imagine your future self smiling, peaceful, handling life's difficulties with ease. When we pick up one end of a stick, the other end comes with it. As you pick up the stick of wellness, what undesirable consequences might be attached to it? Know your sacrifices. Before marriage and kids, I had the freedom to work out at the gym a few times a week. The other regulars and I dreaded January, as the parking lot, locker room, and aerobics classes were packed with newbies, but we knew the crowds would thin by February. Sales of gym memberships soar in January because excitement about the new year is mistaken as readiness for change. It takes just a few clicks of the mouse to buy a gym membership, but putting on our workout clothes, getting to the gym, exercising, and showering afterward can be a 2-hour commitment every time we go. The newbies' failure to allocate the time required to use their gym memberships is a big reason the crowd size was back to normal in 4 weeks. Change requires sacrifice. To add a new activity to our routine, we have to make space by swapping out an existing activity. For example, I sacrificed volunteering and social activities to write this book. Ask yourself, what existing activities will you sacrifice to create space for change? Will those sacrifices free up enough time to read the chapters, practice the techniques, assess your progress, and reflect on your experience? Know your when. The hit song Tomorrow from the Broadway musical Annie brims with optimism about the future. Although today may be gray and lonely, the lyrics promise that tomorrow will be bright with sunshine. Yet, as the song reminds us, the irony is that tomorrow never comes. It is always a day away. Ask yourself, are you ready to begin transformational change now? If not now, then put a start date on your calendar. Some people start their change journey on the first day of the month or their birthday. Perhaps you want to start when you finish that big project at work. If you won't be ready to start within the next 2 weeks, what conditions need to be met for you to feel ready? Why are those conditions important? Don't wait for everything to be perfectly aligned because, just like tomorrow, that time will never come. Imperfect progress is better than no progress at all. Know your who. Your wellness journey impacts the people in your life. Your relationships with your romantic partner, children, friends, and co-workers will improve as you become more calm and joyful within yourself. Consider how the people in your life can support you in your journey. Perhaps the co-workers you eat lunch with will understand if you want to dine alone some days so you can read while you eat. Perhaps you and a friend could serve as each other's accountability partner as you explore this book together. Ask yourself, who are your allies? How will you recruit their support? On the flip side, consider whether anyone in your life would prefer for you to stay as you are. The dynamics of a relationship can be disrupted when one person starts to change, while the other would prefer they remain the same. For example, my neighbor's marriage ended when she conquered chronic obesity. Ask yourself, is there anyone who might sabotage your self-improvement plan? What can you do to mitigate their resistance to your change? How will you stay on track over their objections? Finally, look inside. Years ago, I received a promotion at work that entitled me to a private office with a view of downtown. Back then, I had never heard of imposter syndrome, so I didn't recognize the symptoms. Every morning when I walked into my new office, I thought to myself, I can't believe I have my own office. If we don't believe that we deserve something, chances are that we won't keep it. Sure enough, I lost my position and my office in the next reorganization. Accomplishing your health goals will change how you see yourself, as well as how other people see you. Are you prepared to embrace your new identity? Have you engaged in self-sabotage in the past? If so, do you believe that you deserve personal growth now? Know your superpower. We all have strengths. Sometimes we overlook our superpowers because they come so naturally to us that we assume they're easy for everyone. It is natural for me to stick with a project until it is complete. I don't start a new book until I finish the one I am reading, or cast on a new knitting project until I bind off the one on my needles. It wasn't until a friend mentioned all her half-finished endeavors that I saw my stick-to-itiveness as a superpower. What activities confound others but are effortless for you? Perhaps you excel at organizing events, solving puzzles, or devouring a book in record time. What has worked well for you in past efforts to improve your health? How will your superpowers support you? Know your kryptonite. Just as Superman's strength crumbled in the presence of kryptonite, we all face challenges that diminish our capability. Perfectionism was core to my identity for most of my adult life. While initially proud of my attention to detail, I eventually realized it was a liability. My colleagues were able to shrug off their mistakes without consequence. Why couldn't I? Late in life, I realized that deep-seated insecurity fed my fear of mistakes. As my self-worth increased, I learned to forgive my shortcomings, although a tiny piece of me still cringes, just for a moment, when I screw up. Ask yourself, what is your kryptonite that holds you back from living the life you deserve? Think back to unsuccessful attempts to improve your wellness in the past. What got in the way of your success? Perhaps you underestimated the time commitment, or your heart wasn't really in it. Perhaps you let the first slip derail your intention because you didn't have confidence in your ability. What will you do differently this time? Now it's time to reflect on your readiness to move forward. Referring back to your written answers to the questions in this section, answer yes or no to each of these statements. 1. I know my why. My reasons for making changes are powerful enough to sustain me through obstacles and setbacks. 2. I know my why not. The trade-offs from making changes to improve my self-healing are worth it. 3. I know my sacrifices. I can allocate time to read the book and practice the techniques. 4. I know my when. I am ready to start within the next 2 weeks. 5. I know my who. I believe that I deserve a better future, and I have a plan for engaging support from family, friends, and coworkers. 6. I know my superpowers. I can tap into my strengths to support my change. 7. I know my kryptonite. I know what can sabotage my success, and I have a plan to mitigate it. How do you feel as you review your responses? Clues that you are ready to move forward include: you answered yes to most of the questions. There is no major change, such as caring for a baby or an aging parent, or starting a new job, anticipated in the next several weeks or already underway in your life. You are sufficiently dissatisfied with your health that you can make change a priority right now. You are holding this book because you want to cultivate more wellness, not because someone else thinks you should. Be honest with yourself. If you don't feel ready, that's okay. Come back to this book when you are prepared to take action. Anything we undertake with half-hearted commitment will yield half-hearted results and full-blown disappointment. Change can be scary. We are biologically wired to avoid the unknown. Like Tanya, I have stood at the crossroads of desiring a change while, at the same time, feeling apprehensive about the repercussions of my dream coming true. I attribute my success to clear intentions, willingness to make sacrifices, playing to my strengths, and soliciting support from others to compensate for my kryptonite. Whatever our journey, a little preparation can make all the difference in our experience. If you believe you're ready to take the first step, let's begin with a simple energy medicine technique. The focuser technique. Once a coworker who lived nearby convinced me that her route to work was better than mine. The next morning, I decided to try her way. My commute was so uncomfortable that, the following day, I resumed my old familiar route. We should all feel grateful for the human survival instinct. After all, you wouldn't be reading this book right now without it. But this invaluable aspect of our biology can interfere when we want to change established patterns of behavior. Our survival instinct prefers old familiar behaviors because the outcome is predictable. Been there, done that, still alive. Engaging in a new behavior, however, jolts our survival instinct into full alert. It asks, what is happening? Is this safe? Are you sure you want to do this? If you have tried to make changes in the past, only to find yourself reverting back to your old ways, now you know that you were battling primal human instinct. What behaviors are automatic for you? Do you start and end every day the same way? Perhaps, like me, you follow the same route to work. Maybe you always reach for the same brand of paper towels in the grocery store, or always order the same dish at your favorite restaurant. After all, you reason, I've gotten it before, and I know that I like it. How does it feel when you deviate from your established routine? The focuser technique softens our natural reluctance to try something new. It also clears our mind of racing thoughts so we can think more clearly. Finally, this technique stimulates blood flow to the part of our brain where learning occurs. The focuser will support you in your transformational journey to a healthier you. I recommend taking a few moments to practice the focuser technique whenever you feel resistant to trying something new. The steps are listed below. Or you can follow along with me using the video demonstration in the companion document. Begin by sitting in a relaxed position with both feet flat on the floor. If it feels comfortable, close your eyes. Rest the palm of one hand gently on your forehead. Use the other hand to cup the back of your head just above the neck. Imagine energy emanating from each palm, filling your skull with soft white light. Take 5 deep breaths in and out through your nose. Slowly reposition your hands until your fingertips are hovering over your eyelids and pointed toward your nose. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. Gently pull your hands outward until your fingertips are resting on your temples. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. From your temples, trace your fingertips around your ears and down your neck until your hands are resting on your shoulders with your fingertips on your back. Take another deep breath and slowly exhale. Increase the pressure and drag your hands down to rest over your heart. Take another deep breath and slowly exhale. Again, reposition your hands until your fingertips are hovering over your eyelids and pointed toward your nose. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. Gently pull your hands outward until your fingertips are resting on your temples. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. From your temples, trace your fingertips around your ears and down your neck until your hands are resting on your shoulders with your fingertips on your back. Take another deep breath and slowly exhale. Increase the pressure and drag your hands down to rest over your heart. Take another deep breath and slowly exhale. One more time. Reposition your hands until your fingertips are hovering over your eyelids and pointed toward your nose. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. Gently pull your hands outward until your fingertips are resting on your temples. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. From your temples, trace your fingertips around your ears and down your neck until your hands are resting on your shoulders with your fingertips on your back. Take another deep breath and slowly exhale. Increase the pressure and drag your hands down to rest over your heart. Take another deep breath and slowly exhale. How do you feel?